can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us what is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two.
On the 20th January 2025, Trump got re-elected as president. One of Trump's first goals was the purchase of Greenland. After multiple talks over and over again with the Danish government, Denmark had refused. This triggered Trump and got the US to take it by force, and so the US-Denmark War began. The Americans initially had momentum, sweeping all the Danish forces off the island and occupied the entire island of Greenland. But the Danish armed forces was getting ready and prepared to launch their counterattack. Meanwhile, the Americans were heavily working on the Americanization of Greenland in hopes of persuading the native population to their side. Multiple brigades and various units of Denmark landed on Greenland and took on the offensive. Denmark was uncertain of its capability in getting the Americans out, so they reached out to the Allies. None of NATO and Denmark's allies chose to directly help and interfere, as they cowered out and were scared of the US's falsely assumed strength, although Denmark still received great military aid from its fellow neighbors, Sweden, Norway and Iceland. So after a tough and brutal battle in the counterattack, something peculiar happened. We interviewed Officer Third here with the following of what happened. So what happened basically is this. We were done with an intense battle and we had killed all the enemies, and then in the horizon we saw something coming. And it was polar bears, and of course we got scared. But then they came over and they just instinctively knew that they had to help us, like fucking wild mammals. We were of two different worlds, yet we had one singular shared goal, and that was to get the Yankees the fuck out of Greenland. And so we taught them how to use our military equipment, you know, like drones, tanks, assault rifles, and they just helped us, and it was great. And we had retaken all of Greenland with the exception of Nuuk, with the last US forces remaining there. So then the Battle of Nuuk began. And indeed it did. It turned out to be the deadliest battle of the entire war. And Denmark then retook Nuuk, meaning the entirety of Greenland, and the American forces retreated back to the inbred swamps from whence they came. The Danish armed forces were then approaching the US mainland, where they then entered the East Coast and New York City. Reality had then hit Trump that the war was lost and that they had to sign a peace treaty. Denmark went quite easy on them, demanding no war reparations, and that all they had to do was hand over the state of Rhode Island. And that's how the Danish-American War ended. Thanks for watching.